Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Foxy New.
Who you got?
Andrade? Tell me your hit list.
So, man, who you want?
I told you, Andrade. A lot of people talk about you fighting Chris Eubank Jr.
Hey, we work. Hey, we still working quarantine and not. Ask Al. Ask Al Heyman.
Who's that? You told me you're your own boss. Lions only.
What'd you say?
Jermall Charlo moving up to 168, and he wants David Benavidez. And you know what? Let's just break it down. His actual statement in regards to this. He says, 168, here I come. I've got the approval. If you don't get that rematch with David Benavidez, I'll take it. Now, if you listen to what Jermall Charlo is saying, that, you know, he wants to fight David Benavidez at 168. He thinks he's a good matchup. He thinks David Benavidez is too young, too inexperienced to compete with him. You know, Jermall Charlo is basically on the brink of 30 at this point. Jermall Charlo said at the end of 2019, in referencing David Benavidez fighting at 168, he said it would be a vet versus a kid. A vet versus a kid. And most recently he stated, you saw what happened to Erickson Lubin when he fought my brother Jermall. And so he's trying to compare himself and David Benavidez to Jermall Charlo and Erickson the Hammer Lubin. These are two different types of fighters, different weight classes, and he'd be moving up in weight. This wouldn't be a guy that's naturally at the weight. David Benavidez is an entirely different monster that would absolutely seek and destroy Jermall Tune-Up Charlo. Because, you know, it's one thing to be a veteran because you've been acquiring great matchups. You've learned and gained a lot of experience fighting top-level opposition. But this guy has been fighting, you know, Uber drivers, McDonald's workers, Home Depot employees. He's been fighting tomato cans after tomato cans after tomato cans. He's been fighting your local gardener. This guy has not been fighting any top-level, elite-level opposition, and yet he's acting like he would just go in and school David Benavidez by moving up in weight. But I also believe that he's clout chasing, and let me explain why.
Demetrius Andre, auto-tune, squeaky talking motherfucker. I smack the play with me in person. Go to the Wilder fight. I'll see you at Wilder fight. If you real, go to Wilder fight. I'll meet you at Wilder fight. Let's turn up at Wilder fight. Wilder Fury. Let's turn up. Jacobs, whoever want to fight me, go to Wilder fight.
So there you have it. Jermall Charlo inviting, you know, Demetrius Andre to the Wilder fight. There you have it. Jermall Charlo inviting Danny Jacobs to the Wilder fight. Jermall Charlo wants these guys to come and meet him at a, you know, another PBC event where he can feel like he have a bunch of people around him to protect him. You know, he said these guys keep calling me out, so come and meet me at the Wilder fight. Come and see me at the Wilder fight. Come and be around me at the Wilder fight. All along screaming to come and meet him, which makes no sense when Eddie Hearn and Demetrius Andre has already offered you a contract. Why do we even got to go meet at a fight if you've been offered a contract? This proves he's a clout chaser. Only a clout chaser would say, come meet me at a fight, and we are sending contracts to meet you in the ring. Shouldn't you be meeting in a ring instead of trying to meet at someone else's fight? See, this proves how stupid and ignorant he truly is. Danny Jacobs has already pulled up on Jermall Charlo, and that fight has still never happened. He pulled up and tamed that little kitty cat, and that fight still has never happened. Come on now. Danny Jacobs literally called out Jermall Charlo right after beating Sulecki, and yet Jermall Charlo never responded. Danny Jacobs has already pulled up on you one time. Demetrius Andre has already sent you a contract. What more can you want? See, he don't really want to meet these guys in the ring. He want to meet these guys at someone else's fight. Someone else's fight where he can feel protected, where he can be surrounded by other idiots like himself. We call them the choker chain community. Guys with a bunch of choker chains and nose rings. You know, guys down here who got the choker chains cutting off the circulation to their brain because they're idiots. Let's just be honest and unbiased. Look, at the end of the day, Jermall Charlo gets destroyed and stopped by David Benavidez. And let me tell you why. The first reason is that Jermall Charlo is fighting tune-up level opposition, fight after fight after fight. You know, you see the guy got two guys moving up in weight, you know, Dennis Hogan and Brandon Adams, two guys moving up from 154 to 160 to fight him. He's not even fighting against real 160-pound fighters. He's not fighting against the best. He's not fighting Sergey Deveryunchenko's. He's not fighting those level of opposition. He's fighting Hogan and Adams. Hogan and Adams. So how can you even expect to compete in a realistic level with a guy like David Benavidez, who's going to have size, power, all over you? David Benavidez can literally walk through his shots and laugh. It's a difference. There's levels to this, because Brandon Adams couldn't hurt you. He couldn't hurt you. Dennis Hogan couldn't hurt you. But here's the funny thing about all of this. You know, you've already seen Matt Korobov go in there and arguably get robbed against a Jermall Charlo. He pretty much put the smack down on Charlo's face from beginning to end. It was a good competitive fight, and Matt Korobov was putting in serious work. And that was supposed to be a tune-up fight. That was supposed to be a showcase fight. That was supposed to be a cherry-pick fight. That fight was a replacement fight, and Charlo was supposed to have the advantage. He's a younger, fresher fighter, that more active fighter. Jermall Charlo was supposed to go in there and stop Matt Korobov. His power looked average at best in that fight. His boxing abilities looked average at best in that fight. And an average fighter is not beating a David Benavidez. David Benavidez will brutally stop Jermall Tune-Up Charlo. But once again, Unbiased as always is the IBFP.